Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Sam, the beans bouncing around in the background and singing Baby Shark as usual, so you'll probably hear that. And today we are talking about the split level Suburban. This is probably the only build I will be putting on this channel that is a whole 3 plumb bob difficulty, or at least I can't think of any others right now. But even if you don't build along or you don't feel like you're at this level yet, don't worry, we can still learn together about the split level Suburban, and there are several techniques that we'll be talking about today and just tips and tricks for dealing with basically really picky builds that you may learn from anyway. Because split level homes are typically 3 sections, they can also be called tri-level homes. They became popular in the 1950s and 60s as a family home, but fell out of favor shortly after. The split-level Suburban often has entrance and living room on the main floor, bedrooms and sometimes the kitchen on the upper floor, and a den or garage in the above-ground basement level. There are technically 4 types of split-level homes, but given the same building method is required for them all, we will be going with the standard split, which will have 1 level of living on one side and 2 on the other. Aside from the levels being broken up by short flights of stairs, other iconic parts of these homes include a bay or picture window, low-pitched roofs, and, because it's usually above ground living space, a finished basement. Pros on this style in the real world include reduced noise pollution between levels, more privacy for family members on separate levels of the home, and usually a fairly open-feeling floor plan. Pros in the Sims world are it's a major flex to build one that's halfway decent and looks cool. Cons in the real world include mobility issues with all the stairs, difficulty building additions, and versions in the market can make them more difficult to sell, citing lack of large windows anywhere besides the main living area, and appearing dated. Cons in the Sims world are much the same. We're going to be building a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home today. Again, this is going to be slightly more tricky. We're going to be dealing with some intersecting foundations and weird walls, but I hope you'll build along anyway. And if not, you can always just download it from the gallery. Also, don't forget to check out the link in the description to the Pinterest board that has all of these reference images as well as the articles I read to prepare for today's video. I am starting on a 20 by 30 lot in Newcrest today. I would say 20 by 30 up to 40 by 40 is about the lot size variation you're going to want for this build, as they are suburban homes, so suburban size lots is about what you're going to want to build on. Also, you might notice I have Sims here today. Because this is such a technically difficult build, it can be really handy to actually have Sims already living on the lot so you can play test as you go along. So to get yourself started, you can just Control-Shift-C and mother load. So I'll give you enough money to build. Also, when I'm building, I try to balance 2 things, which is I want the outside to look aesthetic and I want the inside to actually be playable. So I'm going to be balancing those 2 things today. I'm going to make the outside look as good as I can, but then inside I'm going to sacrifice some aesthetic points in order to be able to get, for example, interior lighting in as many rooms as possible, because that's going to be a bit of a challenge. You definitely don't have to. If you would rather have the stairs look a little bit better, but forego some of that better interior lighting, go for it. Sims 4, you can do what you want. I just wanted to let you know that that is sort of what my priority is. And I suppose I've procrastinated long enough and we should just build. So our garage is going to start 1 tile away from the edge, and I'm going to go over 8 and back 6. I'm going to make another room behind this that is 4 tiles deep, and yet another room that's 4 tiles deep but 1 tile wider. And then remove this wall. You can hold control with the wall tool to remove walls, very handy. And then on this side, 4 tiles in from the front of the garage and 2 tiles in from the side of the lot. I'm going to go 6 tiles by 8 tiles. This is going to be our living room, like all the rec room sort of stuff is going to be in here. This will be a garage and or an alternative living space. This is going to be primarily kitchen and dining, as well as a little bathroom right here. Upstairs, we're actually going to start back 1 tile and then go forward 11, which will be 4 tiles in from the front, like this. And that's going to give us that classic 70s overhang in the back. This will be where our bedrooms are. Alright, now this room we're going to raise up 4. This room we are going to lower 4. And I'm going to draw another room that's basically a 4 by 4 square, but with 1 corner cut off, like this. And you can either raise or lower this one 1. And just remove those walls again. I'm going to put a bar up here, but just having slightly different layers in the flooring, even beyond what's already split up among all the levels, can be a nice little architectural detail. Now, in order to maintain the interior lighting in these rooms, I'm going to use arches. Just these 1 tile arches, and I'm going to place 3 tiles in on this side, and directly across from it here, which is sort of at the intersection of the garage and our rec room area. And then I'm going to take stairs and place 1 set facing this way, and 1 set facing this way. You can't actually have the stairs overlap with the arch, which is why they're out 1 tile, but they will still function. And our last set of stairs will be going here. Now it's everyone's favorite time, funky wall time. You can't just draw a wall like this. What you have to do is draw the wall somewhere else and then move it into place. And we're going to do it again, draw a 2-tile wall and move it into place. And to place anything else, we are going to need to turn on move objects. So Ctrl-Shift-C, BB dot, move objects. You should get the confirmation code. Oh, I accidentally turned it off. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to draw a wall here, and I'm going to copy this wall and place it over here, and then move it into place here. And I can't just place a 2-tile wall there, you have to do it like that. This one I'm going to copy and place here. So now I have my entry, which includes all 3 staircases. This will be sort of a mudroom, laundry room sort of space. Putting a bathroom in here is going to be very, very difficult unless you leave the floor at like the main level, but I really wanted to have it drop down. So there is not a bathroom in this space. And then upstairs, I'm going to draw a wall right here and do a 4x5 room, another 4x5 room right here, draw a wall along the stairs, match it on this side, draw a wall across. This is a bathroom. I'll let you catch up for a second here. This is also going to be a bathroom and a closet on the other side of the bathroom. So kids' bedroom, family bathroom, main bedroom, bathroom, closet. As you can see, this room right here will have the exterior lighting, which is a bit of a bummer, but it is just a hallway. This room will of course have the exterior lighting because it's not even technically a room. And because we've used the arches, the rec room and the kitchen dining room both have indoor lighting as well, and the bathroom. So this is what our shell looks like so far. Let's talk about expansion briefly. If I take this, I can't actually add on a room here. So what I'd have to do instead is build a wall and then remove a wall in order to expand this space. And while we could add a second story on this side, we can't really access it from this side. So we'd have to go down the stairs and then up the stairs and up the stairs again. So it just comes with a lot of like weird things. You can pretty much only expand off of sides. Up and down is going to be very difficult. Even inside, I can't make this room any larger or smaller right now. I would have to, again, draw a little space. Oh, can't even do that. Alright, so I'll have to draw a little space and then move this wall into place. Remove this wall, and now I have a room. This does not currently function as a room. It functions as 2 standalone walls, and that is why I marked this one as the 3 plumb bobs, because the amount of weird stuff you have to do to get walls to actually place where you need them, kind of ridiculous. I get it, like the code for the game and stuff, it makes sense, but it can be exhausting. So let's talk about roofing instead. The easiest part of the roof is right here, the garage. We're going to take a little gable, we're going to pitch it down, it's going to be oh so cute. This piece of roof has to face this way, because you can't actually extend it all the way. So you have to leave it 1 tile in, and then hold shift to extend this eave over until it meets up with the wall over here, so then it looks completely roofed. Of course we can pitch this down a bit. I can copy this same roof piece to keep the pitch, and opt to either keep the same direction, like this. For whatever reason, this roof piece I could expand over, but I can't bring the other one over. Again, it's just weird. Or I could put it like this, and now we have this hole right here. So how we're going to fix that one is get on the same level as your garage and add a half gable roof piece. You're going to bring this down to be only 1 tile wide, and it's going to be right over that gap. And then once again, hold shift to drag this eave over until it's covering the whole gap. And then we can pitch it down slightly, but we really want to keep that gap covered. You can leave it just like this, or you can extend this side over and meet up with the garage. And then in the back here, we do still have that gap. And as convenient as it would be to just fill it in with a couple of little half walls, that is not allowed. So we can ignore it, add another roof piece, and if you wanted to add the roof piece, it would make a little bit more sense to expand this room. And then we'll just do the exact same thing, take this roof piece, place it here, of course readjust the sides and the eaves and everything. And that can help disguise that sort of gap in the wall. You can add decks, you just have to be careful with how far over you extend them. And to fill in this gap right here, I can take a narrow piece and move it, but I still can't place it against the house. So if I put it here, I can actually add stairs in that gap. And now it looks like we did that on purpose. All this stuff is of course optional, but again, I figure if we're going to do this, why not go all out? Let's talk about curb appeal. I'm going to make a garage door. I'm going to start by covering this level in brick, and if I use the brickery, we can actually match it to foundation, which is really nice. From here, I'm going to take the clapboard crush, give it a nice light color, beige seems appropriate, and paint 5 tiles. Yes, it looks off-center, but that's just because we're going to add a little door. I'm going to scooch this roof piece back and place a flat tile piece here just to cover the top of the garage door so that I can add this jutting exterior trim, and then 2 columns on either side, a row of the lightbox window, and when I put the roof back, it looks like a garage door. How cool is that? Also, what a great opportunity to use a cute little lamp. Because I use the clapboard for the garage door, in order to keep that illusion of the garage door, I'm going to choose a more narrow siding for the rest of the house. Depending on your area, this could also be plaster potentially, or just completely brick, or just completely siding. But I'm going for a brick siding combo because that's what I see most common in my area. And I think I'm going to switch up my shingles too. Doesn't have to be anything too exciting. Just switching it out from the default always makes it look better. Same with roof trim. Now, if you want to add floor trim back here, the best way to do that is going to be to draw a wall here temporarily, then add your inlaid exterior trim just on those areas, then go back and remove those walls. That will keep it from going into the brick, unless of course you want it to go into the brick. Now, I want to make this entryway stand out a little bit more, so what I'm going to do is grab this half wall, draw it, and then move it to be right up against the foundation. Once again, I can match the paint color by using the brickery and switching out the trim on top, so it looks almost like it's still a piece of the foundation, and I'm going to use the same column I used for the garage doors. Now, if I was using any pack other than just the base game, I would keep pretty much the same sort of bricks and siding combination, but I would actually probably use a more narrow square column like this one from Get Together, something like this cats and dogs column, again just a little bit more square and narrow, or possibly this column from Get Famous. I do really like this one. Like, that would look pretty good. But base game only, so I'm going to stick with the round one. And now we can add doors and windows. Don't really need anything too fantastic for the front door, kind of depends on if you want to keep the 70s vibe or not. If you want to go with something a little bit more modern, I think this one looks pretty nice actually. So I'm going to go with that one. It's a nice contrast to the garage door, like obviously the garage door is a garage door and this one's clearly the front door. And then for the front wall here, we are going to do a nice big picture window. Floor to ceiling is an option, or something slightly smaller, just placed close together. Now for the rest of the windows, you're going to want to go with something kind of small. I would probably recommend either the octopane or the double hung window. And I'm going to place these from the inside because the inside placement matters a little bit more than the outside. Not going to use a ton, just enough to get a little bit of light in. There we go, about 2 per bedroom plus the 1 for the bathroom there. And then downstairs, of course, I can add some right along the ground level for our rec room area. Looking out into the backyard, how nice. And off the kitchen, I'm going to do a sliding glass door. Just a little window for the bathroom for some light. And that's looking pretty good. Alright, I've decided I can't stand how those windows look, so I am going to scooch this over, which means I'm actually going to switch the placement of the closet and the bathroom upstairs just because I need it to look more symmetrical. It's still not perfectly symmetrical because the garage and the upper story, but it's because of how the levels intersect, blah blah blah. Also, the 50s and 60s split levels aren't exactly known for their radiating beauty, but I feel better about it. Get a little porthole window up top. Alright, I need to stop looking at this, it's making me sad. Let's talk about paint and doors and all that stuff for the inside. Oh, I need a deck foundation. In this room, we have the platform at the bottom. However, it is quite deep, and we can use that to our advantage. If we use the knock-on wood platform, we have a black, green, blue, beige, and white swatch, all in vertical, which kind of looks like vertical paneling at the bottom of the wall. So that is probably going to be our best bet down here. I mean, you could do something like tile or just something flat if you wanted to as well, but I kind of like the paneling. I can match that same paneling with this paint, the pinstripe grains, on the base of my stairs, and that doesn't look half bad. For the walls, of course, I'm going to go with beige. And for flooring throughout, I am going to probably stick with some hardwood, although carpet would also be appropriate in the rec room, specifically on this lowered portion, as well as in the bedrooms. And we're going to want to go with linoleum or tiles in the kitchen and bathrooms. If you hit Control F, you can quarter place tiles, which is super helpful, so I can do like a little cutoff portion like that. And for the garage, because our Sims will complain about just the concrete, I can go with some sort of tarmac looking something, and I'm just going to use the same bricks inside. I'm going to add a small internal door going from the garage into our entry space. And speaking of entry space, to floor this, you are just going to place floor tiles directly on the ground. And to paint any space out here, you're pretty much going to want to paint wall by wall. So just very carefully, wall by wall, paint it in. Not much we can do about the foundation over here, unless we change the whole house to a smoother foundation, which we could do, but I really like the brick, so I'm not going to. Instead, I'm just going to acknowledge that it is an integral, quirky part of the build, and just add a door here to make it sort of a, again, mudroom, bathroom, laundry room sort of area, with a small door going outside. And if I want to sort of have a transition between colors like this, a really easy way to facilitate that is to add a small column, or a column and a half wall. You are going to run into some issues with half walls, just because it's on like a weird level. So looks like maybe a full wall will be a better bet for me today. That's alright, we needed a place for a fridge to go anyway. Upstairs is going to be pretty door heavy, but you can switch the direction of your doors by using the greater than and less than keys, which can help it just feel a little more on purpose. And I'm just going to keep painting stuff beige because I can. You can place lights in any of your rooms that are not technically rooms, and they will light up at night, which is good, but the lighting is still going to look kind of funky. However, it is better than nothing. Before we decorate and furnish, I would like to playtest. So let's see what we're up to. For starters, can we get into the garage? Yes. Can we get up here? Yes. Can we get into this room? We can from back here. Now what happens about here? We can use that door. Okay, perfect. Can I still get upstairs? Yes, excellent. So looks like all of the doors are totally usable, which is perfect. Let's go ahead and discuss some furnishing options, and then we will landscape. So for the kitchen, pretty much just going to put an L here. I apparently forgot to add a kitchen window, which is awkward. Throw one of those down. This would be a good place to add upper cabinets as well. It's small, but it's totally functional, and there's even room for a dishwasher. You could expand further by adding a peninsula out this way and or a sort of breakfast table or a counter space over here. You also have a nice big dining room that could probably double as a home office. Since this is just the guest bath, I'm going to keep it pretty simple with just a toilet and sink. Now family bathroom's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to add a double vanity over on this side and a few of these mirrors. I can hold shift to stack multiple, and then ever so carefully scooch my counters out. Beautiful. I'm going to put a placeholder dresser in here just so whoever takes this build out of the gallery knows that this is supposed to be like a closet and then a bathroom over here. We could of course make this whole space a bathroom too, but why not give the adults a closet? We can really fit a pretty nice bathroom inside a 3 tile by 3 tile space. Let's finish decorating the outside. In order to make this entrance feel a little bit more official, I'm going to grab some sidewalk slabs to cover this portion, and just a plain old concrete slab to be the driveway. In the back, I'm going to continue the sidewalk slabs just to the edge of the porch to have like a little concrete pad there, and add a little bit of decking and a railing. Nothing too exciting. Now as far as landscaping goes, these family-friendly suburban builds are going to look like family-friendly Suburbans, so probably nothing too extravagant, unless that fits with your Sims story. Something as simple as some hedges, decorative grasses, hydrangeas seem to be a must-have, a little bit of decoration, rocks, and some filler plants can go a long way. Don't forget some terrain paint. You know what? I have a little bit of extra time. Let's do the classic suburban above ground pool. Of course we need to keep the neighbors out of the pool, so we'll start with a fence. And now I'm going to draw an octagon. I'm going to go 1 tile, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, whoops, 1, 2, and then I want a bit of a deck around that, so I'm just going to draw that in here as well. And the reason I'm doing it like this is so I can remove the ceilings and the walls and just have a good platform here. This I can raise up, scooch over, and then add a pool right inside. Grab some stairs, a safety fence and gate to keep the kids out, put some spare towels over here. I feel like these pools always have some sort of blue lining and floor. And then for a foundation, just grab some wood. And there's your classic above ground pool. If you add this or any other structures to your backyard, monkey bars, telescope, planter boxes, It's always a good idea to go through and add a little bit of terrain paint around them. It's going to help them look used and established. And if you use a significantly smaller brush and keep it very soft, you can add a little bit of a worn dirt path, which is just fun. Time for a recap. The split level comes in many flavors. Today we went with the tri-level. Technically it's quad level because the garage is a different level, but like, I was kind of stuck there. So we have the lowest level, which is an above ground basement, or at least mostly above ground, which is typically sort of the rec room area and would include a garage if your build has one. We also have the main level, which will be kitchen and dining, and the upper level, which will have bedrooms and a bathroom. And in The Sims specifically, you're going to have some sort of awkward junction like this. You could make this junction look a lot nicer, but then you're going to take away some of the playability because it's going to risk making the rooms have outdoor lighting instead, which is always annoying. Also, you can't change any of the terrain on this build because you can't actually have like this be at a different level on the terrain than this. Then you wouldn't be able to place your floor tiles, the Sims wouldn't be able to navigate it. So as far as I can tell from all my practicing, this is about the only way to do it, is have your entry level be not a real room and just floor tiles painted directly on the ground. You'll have your lower level be lowered down with platforms, although technically the floor is at the same level as your entry. You can raise this side up on a foundation, and this side will just be the second story to this level. Just remembered I said I was going to add a bar, so there you go. Some things to look out for when you're building in this style include walls not placing where you want them to place. You're going to have some issues with resizing rooms, so trying to get this right on the first try is going to save you a lot of time later. If you want to get all of these places sorted out before you connect them with these, I mean they're not technically fake walls, they're actual walls, but like sort of fake walls, that should help a little bit with the resizing and everything, but as soon as you connect them with these walls, you're going to run into issues. Upstairs, you're pretty much good to go. The second level is going to give you very few problems, aside from the staircase having outdoor lighting. You're going to have a nice big picture window in the front, but other than that, windows will be fairly small and far between. This is a very family-friendly build, so giving your backyard a lot of activities, a pool, very appropriate. And yeah, that's just a suburban home that most of us see every day. That was just about as painful as I expected, and I'm going to take a little break now. If you want to see more tutorials like this, you can check out the top card here for a full playlist, and if you want to see the video of the Bumblebee build, which is right next door to this one, I'll link that video as well. That one's kind of like a relax with me, get to know me sort of thing, so if you're newer to the channel, could be worth checking out. Thanks so much for building with me today, guys. I hope you didn't shed too many tears, and I look forward to building with you again tomorrow. Bye!